I am anti-vegan for health. Veganism wrecked my health. Veganism wrecked my sister's health. Veganism wrecked my girlfriend's health. Veganism wrecked my friend's health. But hey, who cares, right? Guys, veganism wrecked the health of thousands and thousands of people online. For every little vegan troll comment that I get hundreds of thanks comments on a daily basis of people that are reclaiming their health. This is why I run an anti-vegan channel.
Wait. Where's your empathy for the UK women who can't convert beta-carotene to vitamin A? Like you don't give a shit about humans, man. You hate humans.
If the German government wants to abolish the laws stopping people from murdering each other, you'd be for that. That's fine.
Actually, yeah, because then the society would collapse. So actually, that would be awesome.
Okay, well, I mean, if you're for just murdering each other, then again, I don't know why I would talk to you about cows, because you don't even understand why humans should have rights. So again, with both of you, it's like this.
It's simply your religious belief. Like you don't give a shit about humans, man. You hate humans.
Abolish the laws stopping people from murdering each other, you'd be for that. That's fine.
Actually, yeah. And you hate humans.
Vegans would argue back, like, well, they don't really have feelings. They're not Listen, if there's a nervous system and it can feel pain, broccoli. If it can feel pain, then it can feel you breaking it off and fucking harvesting it, okay? Now here's my argument. You guys are gonna see the title up here, and I think it's gonna be something to do with vegans. I don't know, we're gonna figure it out, but vegans are the first ones to talk about animals are living things, they're the same as us, etc., etc. You should only be plant-based this, vegan that. Now, I love arguing with vegans because scientists who they listen to have proven that broccoli has a nervous system and it can feel pain. They have proven over and over again, the more positive you are to a plant, the brighter it grows, the bigger it grows, the healthier it is. The more negative you are to it, it wilters.
Stolen breast milk, coagulated, solidified and salt added.
Stolen breast milk? You make it sound like someone's just run along past a lady feeding a baby in a park on the tip and just had a couple of squishes, couple of squirts into the mouth, into a little shot glass and then pissed off down the road. It's not stolen. I mean, you know, they don't give consent. It's not stolen. They don't give consent.
You can get over 50 nutrients from plants. Research it, vegans. That's why you're mentally ill. This is complete mental illness. Veganese, imitating mayonnaise because she craves fat.
Seeing as we are all everything, at all times, that meaning anything that is naturally human, we are also predators and cannibals at all times. Always. This is why I want to mention what happened to me last year. When I was in the intensive care, I talked about this in the video, sun gazing warning. When I was really starved and then I started eating again, I wanted flesh so much that I actually wanted human flesh.
This is complete mental illness.
And there's a reason for this. And I also saw people sun gazing, visions of it, and having organs in their hands and eating them and such. And this just really got stuck in my head. The reason I mentioned this is because I was quite mad at these doctors there because they were giving me this carbohydrate shit and there's a lot of stuff going wrong there, and that's why I actually wanted to just bite one of them and eat them.
This is complete mental illness.
And looking back at this, it doesn't seem weird at all, but actually generally now, since I've been eating raw meat, I don't find it weird in any way at all. It's actually really quite natural.
Plants are a life form. And we have this thing in our head that because they don't move, oh, they must be stupid. And we have this thing in our head that because they don't move, oh, they must be stupid. Mm-hmm. But they're in some way communicating with each other in a method that we don't totally understand.
Yeah.
Which fucks vegans hard.
Yeah, right.
And since opening my eyes to other perspectives and other information is that there is a fuck ton of rodents and insects and small animals that are killed in the process of growing and harvesting corn and wheat and soy and rice and all of these different vegan staple items.
First question comes from Vegan Deterioration, who asks vegans, how often do you dream about eating non-vegan food? I follow that up with a second question, which would be, if so, how often? How often? I follow that up with a second question, which would be, if so, how often?
So what I'm hearing you say, Paul, is I need to, the reason why carnivore would help me is because
I won't be able to take a shit.
And that's going to tap into some fuels that I'm not used to burning. But it's also, it's not starving myself, but it is still starving myself.
Exactly.
I mean, I'd also just point out that, like, look, we can get into these kind of debates about whether rape is actually good or bad. But the thing is, so many people understand that that's false, that almost seems just like a waste of time to focus on the debate. If you're going to say rape is ethical, no one's agreeing with your reasoning.
I didn't say ethical. I said it's good. And since we're on the point, you're going to
okay, well, no, Char, what's it mean to be good?
All right, so the reason rape is good is because, for example, like in nature...
You know, I actually can't ethically defend eating meat. I do eat meat. I was a vegetarian for 6 years and began to feel that I wasn't getting enough protein.
You know, I went vegan for, you guys know the story. I went vegan after watching Earthlings, and that's always been my main mission, to spread compassion and positivity, not only, you know, in the animal kingdom. So my plan is to become a hunter and hunt, you know, deer and moose and these things myself. My main mission, to spread compassion and positivity, not only, you know, in the animal kingdom. I think it's really important for me, for my personal journey, to hunt and kill these animals myself. Compassion and positivity, and kill these animals.
Well, as a human with a brain that's much more developed and has a way larger capacity for suffering than a chicken ever could.
Do you think a chicken does suffer?
Yeah, definitely.
So then if they suffer, what right do humans have to cut their throats open?
What right? Yeah, there's no rights, there's no fair, there's no, like, they're totally fucking different.
I'm just comparing two injustices.
Animals are totally in different lanes completely.
What's the difference?
Capacity for cognitive thought, emotion.
So what about a mentally disabled human? Do you believe that animal cruelty is wrong?
Definitely, yeah.
If you're not vegan, you're pro-animal cruelty, because you're paying for it.
The world doesn't work that way. So not eating vegan doesn't make me pro-animal cruelty.
But you're paying for animal cruelty.
I'm paying to eat.
Which is from animal cruelty.
Almond milk. That's not milk. You use it because you crave actual milk. Completely mentally ill. Completely removed from nature. That's the definition of mental illness. Let me explain this to you. This is the definition of mental illness. Alright, hi guys. I'm back with more high meat eating. What I've got today is 10 months old wheel heart and 5 months old wheel liver. Everybody go get some liver, put it in a jar. After 2 or 3 months, completely mentally ill.
So, you will not kill an animal to eat it, but you will slaughter all manner of plant life and eat it. So you're okay with that, but not eating the animals. You have judged that your side of the tree of life is more important than this other side of the tree of life. Have you stopped and thought about what a tree is?
That whole self-righteousness and all the craziness that comes along with being a vegan and cruelty-free. Yeah. Not to those screaming plants that you can't hear because they scream. Salad! They fucking scream, man.
Today there's substantial documentation to show that plants are as sensitive as any other creature. So whether you eat a plant or an animal or whatever, it is still violence. Only thing is they don't scream. They do scream, you don't hear, that's all. There's enough evidence to show that they do scream.
For me, morality, when it comes to moral obligations, your responsibilities, where if you either do this or you are immoral, or if you fail to do it or you do the opposite, you are immoral. Yeah. That is all about a moral contract between agents. And I'm undeniably speciesist about this.
You know, nowadays in the media you hear a plant-based diet is the healthy way to go. But guys, we already tried that. If you look into what we've been eating, it is a plant-based diet. I know it's quite a shocking fact, people can't understand this, and I didn't believe it myself. But once you start looking into it, you will find out that most people already eat a plant-based diet. We eat processed plants, absolute sugary, carby foods.
I'm curious, are you wearing sunscreen?
Yeah, I am.
You're wearing sunscreen. I have a question.
Oh, I'm waiting to hear it. I can't wait.
Question.
Yeah.
So, if you had to obtain food in a natural environment, how would you obtain this?
That's a dumb question. I'm not in a natural environment. I would do what I can, obviously.
No, I mean,
Dude,
my point is, whether you're consuming plants or animal foods.
What's this got to do with sunscreen?
Well, let me finish, because it makes sense. Whether you're consuming plants or animal foods, you have to be out in nature to obtain those foods, correct? If you're at a farm or you're hunting, right?
You mean in a survival situation? A legitimate...
No, not in a survival situation. If you were in a scenario where you had to grow your own crops or raise your own animals, you would have to be out in nature, right?
Again, is this like in a community, in a town?
The point is, our modern life has allowed us to obtain food in unnatural ways. And if you need to cover yourself up and wear sunscreen, and you can't even be in the sun for a couple hours in New York City...
Yeah, why did you shave?
Why did I shave?
Why did you shave your face? It's not natural, dude.
Because I don't want to look like a dirty piece of shit in the middle of New York City.
Oh, so you think... Oh, okay, so that... This guy, man. Dude, you shaved your face and you're standing here saying, don't use sunscreen. What? Dude, your argument is nature, though, and then you shave your face, and then you say, oh, I don't want to look like a piece of shit. Your arguments are fucking laughable, dude.
Do you understand there are some indigenous people that didn't have facial hair? And some people don't grow facial hair, right?
And so what?
I
know that you shaved your face, and that's why I'm asking you.
Every single human has to be in the sun, outside in nature, to obtain food. Shaving has nothing to do with that. Let me
your
explain this again,
your argument was nature though. Hashtag nature though. And then you shave your face. Yes, it is. You said it's not natural.
The argument is that
it's literally what you said.
The argument is that in order to procure calories as a human being, you have to be out in the sun. Because our modern amenities have allowed us to use supermarkets and obtain our food without having to be out in nature.
What has that got to do with you needlessly exploiting animals?
My point is that you have to wear sunscreen and cover up because you can't even be out in the sun for a few hours.
And you have to shave your face because you can't live with the fact that you're ugly.
We'll let the viewers decide that one. The guy wearing sunglasses. All right, who's next?
End of discussion. Don't hurt your feelings. Don't worry, you get over it, baby. It's all right.
Where's your empathy for people?
Where's your empathy for the animals that you're paying to be killed for an unnecessary reason?
I don't have empathy for them at all. I want to kill them.
Would you be vegan if you could be healthy? Would it be a better option for the animals?
I wouldn't care, man. I like killing animals.
So see, that's it then. So it's not just about health, is it, for you? How do you justify killing animals then? For what? For pleasure?
What do you mean? Just it's nice.
Is that a good enough?
I like to drink the blood. It's fun.
Is that a good enough reason to kill? Pleasure?
Yeah, of course.
It's only mentally ill. It's literally the definition of mental illness.
I want to kill them. I like killing animals.
Mental illness.
I want to kill them.
Yeah.
Respond to that.
Well, back on my farm, Ed, we are transparent. You know, I enjoy using social media to show people exactly what we do.
Yeah.
Many farmers also engage in events such as Open Farm Sunday, which is a time of the year when we can open our gates and invite the local community to come around and have a real look at what we're doing. What I would suggest is that activism is perhaps discouraging farmers from doing this. So although you may ask for an open, transparent way of looking at farming, when we do provide this, the counter effects that we receive is the distressing incidents I've just told you about.
I mean, do you show the people that come to your farm things like the artificial insemination? Do you show them what happens to the calves? Do you show them the pens they're kept in for up to 8 weeks at a time where they're not allowed to see their mums, they're not allowed to nurture, they're not allowed to socialise? Do you take them to the slaughterhouse as well and show the knife being pulled across their throat? Or do you keep that bit hidden and just show kind of the cows grazing and being fed?
I like to think that we show everyone the full spectrum of
farming. Do you, or you either do or you don't?
So the cows are getting tortured just to get the milk from them, and it's about their reproductive system, and we are dependent on the milk which should be given to the her children, and this has been happening since ages, and also in the yogic system and in the temples. the milk is getting used for diyas and also for the linga. So I'm not sure how good it is. Sometimes I feel very bad about it.
I don't know where you saw diyas burning with milk. Anyway.
Made from the ghee,
all
is
right.
made from the milk.
So, it's better to slaughter them, not torture them, right?
Well, it's better to leave them the way they want to
Oh,
live.
that will not happen. The only other option is slaughter them.
Turkeys are weird because they have a strangely humanoid aspect to them, kind of walking around carrying what was once alive. It's gruesome and horrifying. I don't think that we should go randomly killing animals or mistreating animals. I feel like this turkey has been sufficiently abused. I think that if we're needlessly killing animals, then you know, I would consider moving away from that. First, let's make sure it's dead. That's the first step.
I'm going to ask, like, do you think that the moral, whether you see it as an obligation or a virtue,
right,
not to torture a dog, a pet dog, is that due to the social contract that you have with the dog's owner, or has that got something to do with the intrinsic moral worth of the dog?
Well, if those are the only two options, it would have to be the moral contract with the owner.
It doesn't have to be those
because
two
I'm
options.
not necessarily sure that there's any intrinsic moral worth. Certainly not intrinsic, but it may also be a moral contract with myself.
You know, it's not right. Why is it right? Just because everyone else does it and it's always been that way. It doesn't mean that slavery was right just because they've been doing it for thousands of years in Egypt and stuff like that, you know? It is our right to eat animals and to do something that we've been doing for millions of years.
You were a vegan for a while, right?
Yeah.
How long were you a vegan for?
Pretty much a couple of years.
For a couple of years?
Yeah, 5 years.
When did it stop? When did you stop doing that? When did it stop? When did you stop doing that?
I don't know, not too long ago.
So did you stop because of the training, or did you stop before that?
Yeah, I did stop reading because of the training. It was because of what I wanted my body to look like and the strength that I wanted to possess.
There is nothing manly about eating meat. When you actually think about it, when you see these, the issues that we face today, when you see the cruelty that we're causing these animals, there's nothing manly about pushing your power over someone else who is, incapable of defending themselves. To hunt and kill these animals myself.
Dude, even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe sense of irony here. Who's your audience? Nobody gets these dumb jokes.
It's a mental illness.
With some salt and water.
You don't realize it. You're mentally ill. Why would you put the sauce over the food that you want to eat? Every animal that likes their food simply eats it as it is. You can't do it. You gotta cook it, prepare it, and add stuff to it just to somehow be able to swallow it. The same with the kale. One of the most toxic plants out there. You don't like it, you know that. Man, you gotta be vegan and so mentally ill and delusional to not see what's going on. You can't build muscle on that at all. Your muscles would absolutely shrink if that's what you would eat. Without any drugs, of course.
I think there's an interesting ethical wrinkle with respect to the prospect of farming in such a way that the lives of farm animals are net positive, right? So that it's better to have existed as a cow than to have not existed at all. And if we had some sense that these are indeed happy cows, well then it would be better to raise them and treat them well and then finally eat them than it would be to not have done any of that and manage to just engineer tofu that is so healthy that we can live off of it. So I think it's an interesting ethical problem, but I would certainly acknowledge that what we have currently is not like that, and that it is a horror show. I do eat meat. What we have currently is not like that, and that it is a horror show. I do eat meat.
But for me, I feel best when I'm around 100 grams of carbs a day. If I do too much more than that, it doesn't really benefit me. But I do feel like a lot of days having 100 grams of carbs from ancestrally consistent sources is a benefit for me personally. I'll mix fruit, honey, or white rice depending on the day. Some days I don't do any. Some people do okay with sweet potato. I don't love it. A lot of oxalate in there. And the other carbohydrate that some people might be okay with is pressure cooked white rice, possibly. See how you respond to it. Again, it's going to depend on your metabolic context. It's pretty benign for most people, especially if you pressure cook it and it's white rice. Do not do brown rice, okay? So where are we so far? If you want to eat plant foods, focus on the fruit. We're going to make animal meat and organs the majority of your diet.
I've been telling these people, like, that I eat only meat, and they're like, well, you know, if you eat too much meat, it causes colon cancer, causes this, causes that. And one of the things that I say, and as a talking point that I actually stole from you, is that most plants are inedible, but almost all animals are edible. And when you say that to them, they look at you like, oh, shit. Like if you just go out and eat like random plants, you'll get sick as That's real. So like when I tell people I eat mostly meat, they look at me like you're doing something really stupid. Like Rob Lowe started laughing at me. I said I have like an animal-based diet. You know, some people are plant-based. I'm animal-based.
I love that word.
Yeah, animal-based. Yeah. Just steal what they're saying.
And make it better. But
what you said, what I've heard you say, that's an accurate way of describing it. Most plants are not edible, but almost every animal is edible. So you started eating meat, red meat, everything again? No red meat?
But only elk and bison.
Oh, red meat. That's
duck,
red meat. Yeah. Okay.
Wild stuff.
You eating elk and bison? Dude, I want to give you some of my elk.
Yeah. See, really? Would you please?
Fuck
Would you please, man?
100%.
Did you kill it?
Yes.
Yeah, I would like for you to do that.
I'll give you some from that elk right there.
Yo, that would be so awesome.
Fuck yeah.
That would be so awesome.
I have 3 commercial freezers in the back.
Yeah.
I would love that. I would love that too.
I realize that there's things that are good for other people, like the kale and the vegetables and all this stuff, the blueberry, and then for me it's really poisonous. It's not good.
That stuff's bad for you?
But yeah, that stuff's not good for my blood type and my health conditions and all that stuff.
Kale? All that stuff's
kale
bad for you?
Kill me. Kale,
Really?
why? Yeah, it's gonna kill me. Kale will kill me.
What does
no,
it do?
actually dead.
Really?
Yeah, for me, kale is toxic to my blood and everything.
And I've had to introduce fish and omegas into my life because my brain wasn't functioning properly. And
Don't tell that to the vegans. They'll come for you.
They're gonna come for me, but that's okay. I'm used to people coming for me, and it's
You
gonna
need
be
to
that I
eat
come
more
out.
celery.
No, listen. If I give home, I have 22 animals on my farm in Nashville. I've got 22 in my house in Calabasas. Like I'm doing what I need to do for the animals.
Can I ask you, were you doing a vegan diet like meticulous?
The strictest you've
were you
ever
doing
known.
But were you doing intelligently? Like
I
were you
did all my
supplementing the right
supplements.
way?
I do all my protein drinks. I've watched every bodybuilder's YouTube.
This is a typical example of somebody who grew up in a city. She's completely removed from nature, from reality, from everything. Just essentially delusional and mentally ill. Nobody ever in a million years in nature would cry or anything in any way even close to that when they see a fish being killed. He also seems mentally retarded. He talks super slow.
This is pure mental illness, man.
I hope you enjoyed.
Fake.
Video.
Wow. She's severely mentally ill.
Dude, even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe sense of irony here. Who's your audience? Nobody gets these dumb jokes. Dude, even vegans don't get your weird, stupid